We're the largest snacking company in the world.
That everyone in the business is a leader and have a role to play.
So it just naturally made sense that, my career would progress.
And I wish someone had told me when I was in high school that that was an option.
It's all about maintaining relationships and
have such a wide array of academic backgrounds in the CCAS.
A strong network of women here to help you.
Hey guys, so today we are joined by Emily, who is a geotechnical engineering graduate for Newcrest. Thank you so much for joining us today.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
So just before we kick off, for those who don't know, could you just give a bit of a snapshot on who Newcrest actually are?
Yep. So Newcrest Mining are Australia's biggest gold miner. They're based in Australia, Papua New Guinea, and all over the world with different sites. So I'm based at the Telfer site, which is in Western Australia in the Great Sandy Desert, and I work in the underground operations space.
Oh my gosh, are you underground like right now?
No, I'm sitting in the office at the moment on the surface, but the underground portal is only 500 meters from where I am.
Right, awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds so cool. So you started off with Newcrest, I believe, as a vacationer at uni, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. So I actually studied civil engineering and finance at UQ in Brisbane. And in my final summer holidays, I was given offered an internship at Cadia, so Newcrest's mine in New South Wales. So I went down there for a summer period and got to work on a really cool project called the Hydrofrac project, which was an industry-leading project to reduce seismic risk. So you break big rocks into small rocks to reduce the chances of mining-related earthquakes. So that was really cool. And then I went back to uni for my final year and worked part-time in one of the PNG site offices that was based in Brisbane. Did that for my final year of uni and then came over here to Telfer. So relocated to Western Australia for this year.
Amazing. So now you're a graduate, a geotechnical engineering graduate.
Correct. Yeah.
And what does that actually mean?
So a geotechnical engineer in the underground space, we deal with the rock support. So obviously you're in a big tunnel when you're underground. So supporting all the rock above you. When we mine the rock out too, we create little earthquakes. So mining related earthquakes called seismic events. So managing the risks related to that as well. We also check on the quality of the ground support installed and making sure everything's to standard and fixing any non-compliances. So we work that into weekly schedules on the mine site. And yeah, I think from a holistic point of view, it's about keeping everyone safe underground as a geotech engineer. So
wow, high pressure job.
It is, and you have to learn quickly, be quite adaptable to different situations because you can come in, every day's different, and get thrown in the deep end, try and work out how to problem solve.
Absolutely. So have you always wanted to do this? Like when you were at high school, looking back, is engineering in this sort of in the mining industry? Have you always had an interest in it?
Not particularly, actually. So I finished high school and I just left my options quite open. I had an interest in maths and science, but then also in economics side of things. So I went into uni. I hadn't done the prerequisites for the course, but I got the score to get into engineering and I thought I'd just give it a crack. And then UQ offered for us to do bridging courses to get up to speed with the engineering units. And turns out I loved both of them. So I sort of went in with the intention of picking one path potentially. So finding which one I liked more and going down that one. I ended up enjoying them both. And I liked how each semester I could get a little taste of one and then a taste of the other. So I finished both of the degrees and then, came to work on site. Just thought I'd get a bit of site experience in my early years and then potentially apply the commerce degree at a later point in time. But being a civil engineer, I thought I'd go into bridges and roads and floodways and that sort of thing. And it wasn't until I did the internship at Cadia that I thought, no, I actually really like this mining this mining life. So I
Yeah.
came over to mining.
Great. So can you tell us maybe a little bit about the mining life? I think for some people it can be sort of perceived as male dominated, and especially even engineering too. How have you found it being a girl on site in your high vis as you are now, and what's it like?
Yeah, I really love it. I think if you've got the right attitude and you're willing to work hard, anyone can succeed in this industry. I think it's a very dynamic industry, but people are very welcoming. So they're understanding that, you know, you often have to relocate. For this work, you're often site-based, so you can be, you know, a fair distance from family and friends. So I find everyone here is sort of like-minded and welcoming, and everyone makes you feel included. So you sort of have a new family, I guess they call it, up on site to make you feel like you're part of it. But I also grew up in a mining family, so I've moved all over the world as a kid, following my dad around with his job. So I guess I was used to it. But I did get to high school and said, no, I want to go to boarding school. I want to stay still. But here I am now, moving all over the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what do you love most about it?
I think the thing about mining is there's the specifics that you do on a day-to-day basis and all the technical sort of stuff, but there really is that bigger picture, resources, how gold is a global commodity and how it's distributed worldwide, how at the end of the day we can fall back on the gold standard as a currency. And I think it's an exciting industry, in particular gold mining, to be a part of. And yeah, it's never boring.
No. So are you literally like mining through and then you might find these like massive rocks of gold?
Yeah, some sites are, not here. So here we've got low grade that we mine in high quantities, and then it goes over to the mill for processing. But they do have a gold room on site here, which is pretty cool. Like to go and check that out if I'm allowed one day. And then they have copper concentrate as well. So yeah, just knowing that what you're digging up could have gold particles in it. But unfortunately, no, we can't see any gold.
Yeah. Right. So cool. What
Yeah.
would you say is the toughest part of your job, or what's sort of been the greatest challenge so far?
Yeah, so this year obviously has been a bit of a challenge in itself. Relocating over to Western Australia, I was more than happy to do. I guess I wasn't expecting not being able to go home this year, home to Brisbane. So that's been a pretty big challenge for me this year. Things are starting to look promising between WA and Queensland. But yeah, just trying to find my feet in a new city and feel grounded with other connections other than friends and family that I've been with for the last 10 or so years.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what advice would you give to students out there? I mean, it's been a tough year, I guess, for everyone for all different reasons, hasn't it? Like, you know, with COVID, especially for the year 11s and 12s, you know, it's been super tough. But what advice would you give to students out there who are maybe considering a career in the mining industry and at Newcrest?
Yeah, I guess I would say to think outside the box. So when you go into these disciplines at uni, you're not stuck in those disciplines, and there is the opportunity to move outside. So myself, my experience is I was a civil engineer and I was working on the roads. I got given an opportunity to go to a gold mine, and I just thought, you know what, let's give it a crack. I think those experiences always pay off. You may not enjoy it, you may go back to what you did initially, but I think if you don't give it a go, you don't know. And for me personally, even finishing high school and not having the prerequisites, I just thought, no, you know what, I'm going to give engineering a crack. So I think thinking outside the box and sticking with your guns. If you have a gut feeling you want to go for something, you'll find a way to make it work.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Emily. It's been really great to get your insight.
No worries.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Thank you for having me.